Okay, guys, I should be live. Hi, and welcome to Gary Reviews and to this topic that was a long time coming. So, guys, tonight we have also something very interesting, which is a deep dive into The Last of Us Part 2. So, that's going to be a bit late for me, 11, but I'm going to try to cover it as well. Now it's 9:26. I actually was able to start a bit earlier, which I'm very happy, about. Now let's see who is in the chat, and you guys have been waiting for me for a few minutes. Me and Julie we are going to do a new Retro Friday as soon as humanly possible. So yes. Okay, let's see. So hi to Ivy. Yep. Well, thanks, Ivy, for that awesome epic word. Hi, Clayton, Justin, Zeriche. Hi to you. Okay, guys. Oracle. Okay, so yeah, we do have The Last of Us, but I wanted to talk about this topic for a long time now. I've done two things. One was a stream with one of my friends some years ago, and one other video that I did on this topic on my own. Once again, it was a few years ago, and since then I've you can say that I changed my opinion a bit, just because it's very complicated, but I'm going to start somehow from the beginning, and then we're going to address a very interesting comment made by one Xena fan, which actually happened today. And because I wanted to create this video anyway for a long time, this comment just came right on time, and I even had more reason now to do this stream, because I think that this topic is so interesting and it deserves some attention, definitely. And it's, I mean, for people that watch Xena, and there's so many people that actually start to watch Xena right now or recently finished Xena, so it's like very fresh in their mind. And for me, Xena is always fresh in my mind because I have watched every single episode at least a dozen times. Okay. Thanks, Ivy. Okay, so I'm just going to stop some stuff on my PC just in case. I hope that the PC behaves. I did change one cable to the SDD, so now it's better, but yeah, I hope that it is stable. That has been my problem for months. But okay, let's start now. Okay, so in the past, now I don't remember every single word that I ever said about this, of course, but I know what my opinion was, because it was the same since I was a kid. So basically, when I watch Xena, the whole show, I watched Xena and Gabrielle. I mean, their relationship growing throughout the show. I watched, of course, behind the scenes and what the creator said, and their intent of those two characters, and how their relationship is supposed to be. Overall their thoughts on it, how they were writing Xena and Gabrielle separately and together as Xena obviously being the hero and Gabrielle being the psychic. But of course, with Xena and Gabrielle, that was always much more than you can imagine. And here's how it came out to me when I was watching the show as a kid. Well, thank you very much, Clayton. I'm going to, talk more and look at the comments less, because otherwise I'm just going to lose my train of thought. And I do have to get to this amazing comment that what the heck's happening to my voice? This amazing comment that I got today. So I won't do much of a prologue about what I thought, but I have to get through it, If in case you never heard me talk about Xena. I even have a Xena channel, especially that I'm not doing anything there at the moment, but it was mostly for Xena videos, like music videos, that I just love to do. That's how I started editing and learning video creation, because I just love to express a particular topic from Xena, to come up with different, literally different themes on my own, and just picking the best music, and then, cutting everything along with the music, so it gets to make a lot of sense. It just tells a particular story. Sometimes those stories were about something that happened in the show, and goes through a lot of episodes, but sometimes it's just something fictional that might have happened but it didn't happen. So you have to know every episode amazingly well, and you have to go through a lot of them, scene by scene, shot by shot, to pick the perfect moments for the perfect word of the song, and you just have to match everything. So this was extremely time consuming for me, but it was amazing, and I started doing this because there was a lot of Xena videos, back then in the internet. I mean, on YouTube now, of course, they are still here, but the point is that it was a very big thing a few years ago, and so many Xena fans tried to do those things. Some of them were pretty professional, some of them were atrocious, and because I didn't have a lot to watch. I had a few that I really love to watch. I was like, well, I want to create videos because then I'm going to be able to watch what I want. I'm gonna just create it. And that is how my editing, video making started, from school. Just tried to have professional software. You lead studios something, and then Sony Vegas, and I was, from that point on, I'm with Sony Vegas, and so on. But really, those videos were so much time that unfortunately I had to stop making them, because they are literally from few hours they started to take days to make, because the more professional and amazing it is, the more time you have to put on. I could spend just 2-3 hours on, like 15 seconds of one of those videos. But I really love them because they are kind of like my legacy in terms of the Xena universe, and a lot of fans enjoy them, and I have thousands of views on those. So yeah, if I could only make a living from Xena videos, I would be rich. But yeah, that's about my Xena love, and how I expressed through the videos. And through all of those videos, and thank you very much, Clayton and Ivy. Through all of those videos, I created a lot of those were exactly on this topic about Xena and Gabrielle and their relationship. And when I was a kid, watching Xena and Gabrielle, I was just fascinated by their friendship, because I personally never had a friend like this, who would support me, understand me, fight for me. I was always fighting for other people, and even when guys in school are trying to bully other girls or take their stuff, because they know that the girls cannot defend themselves, and they're just screaming. But I was never like this. I was always standing up to the guys and fighting with them and kicking them and all of those things, and they were shocked, so they didn't want to mess with me. I was not interesting because I was fighting back, but the other girls were not fighting back, so they were the victims, and I was trying to protect them. But then all that I got from my heroism was basically absolutely nothing, and those girls were still envy me, hated on me, and did the worst things that you can possibly imagine, to put me in a bad place or whatever. There are so many things about that. So during this time, watching Xena, I was extremely fascinated by this friendship, and I was like, wow, this is a real friendship. This is something to be admired, cherished, and I was in awe of it. Of course, there are some things that happen throughout the show and the story that actually broke up the relationship at some point. It's pretty freaking severe thing, but then they got away to. I mean, there was a musical, okay, and after the musical, they saw that this way of hatred, it just makes no sense. They will not do anything. I mean, they will not be better people forward. They're going to be very, I mean, suffering people because they hate each other so much. So they decide to, of course, get together again. So that was once again amazing stuff. I mean, there's so many things in Xena that you can just pick apart forever, and you're going to get more meaning out of it and more meaning out of it, and that's why no matter what age, I'm pretty sure no matter what age I get, I always be very, very, respectful and just loving every single thing out of Xena, and it just doesn't get old for me. And Kirill, my colleague from Superheroes Bulgaria, which who you have seen me do a lot of videos with, he started watching Xena from the beginning. He only seen throughout the years some random episodes here and there, but he started from the beginning and he's sticking to it. He's now like almost on season 4, and he is just in love with it, totally in love with it. So yeah, I mean that you can always watch Xena, no matter how low budget some episodes might be. The first season, the second season is better, third better in terms of the budget, but in terms of how everything it still holds up today in storytelling and dialogue is amazing. I just love it. So it doesn't matter how the sets and you know look, that it's just so superficial when it comes to Xena, because you get such a quality story in each and every episode. But okay, back to their amazing relationship. um yeah, I see that your guys are saying some stuff in the comments, but once again I'm going to get to them when I can, and maybe answer some questions if you have some at the end, but I really have to get the point on. Okay, so yeah, guys, watching the show. Yeah, watching the show, I'm just remembering there's. I mean, I never, like, really never saw them as a couple, because everything was done like first I was never exposed to anything like that before, and there's no relationship on screen that's like theirs in the first place. I mean, just the genuine, real love that they have between each other. And I always took that as a completely friend-based platonic relationship, but not like a friends, but the show did establish that they are soulmates, that their relationship actually transcends life itself, because even if they're dead, even if they have different lives, I mean future lives, they're still together as a couple, and then as a couple. But I'm going to address some of those points when we get to this amazing comment that I got from the Xena fan today. um I mean, despite all of that, I never saw them as a couple. And they did have a few kisses. I also addressed those in my previous videos. And I said, well, they were like, I mean, once again, I can't quote myself at the moment, but I said something along the lines of, that those kisses always had some kind of a reason behind them, and they did, they were through some event that happened. And I never, saw that as a gay kiss, although you can say now, when you look at this now, it's like, yeah, but I'm like, no. What to tell you, because Xena and Gabrielle always had different relationship, or at least relationships, sorry, or at least Xena had. She always had guys. We see her in previous, in her previous self, the evil Xena, how she had Barias, had her kid with him, how she was with Ares in some kind of a whole twisted way, how she had Marcus and as her true love, not to mention Hercules, how she manipulated her whole army. I mean, the idea of Xena was not for her to be any kind of a bi or a gay character, not even a little bit at the beginning. But as the show progressed, I mean, what I've seen again behind the scenes explained from the creators was that they seen, I mean, the creators themselves saw how their relationship was, playing out on screen, and they decided to put the little jokes here and there, like for instance when they're in a jacuzzi. That was in season 3. Very awesome episode with the giant. The name escapes me right now, but the point was they're in a jacuzzi, and Xena was like, "Did you step on the soap?" And Gabrielle was like, "I wonder what that was." So, so many like these cute little things, and those kisses that I mentioned, they are very very rare. There was one time, maybe that was the first time, where Xena was dead, and she got into Autolycus' body, the king of thieves. And through him, she spoke to Gabrielle, but Gabrielle was like transcended, like moved, so to speak, in another world. I mean, the spiritual world, and she actually saw Xena there, not Autolycus. They were able to speak to each other, and then Xena like went down to kiss her. So that was really awkward in terms of, especially if you watch it with your parents. Um, but I don't know, they didn't think any of it, I mean, much of it. They also took it as, well, I don't know. I mean, okay. I mean, like nobody literally thought much of this, and I personally didn't. I mean, I wouldn't kiss a friend like this. Uh, but yeah, it happened. Okay. So basically, yeah, that was my opinion before, that this has nothing to do with anything, because, and my main argument was that because, this was never confirmed in the show, because yeah, there was many instances different like this, not kisses. I mean, kisses, like I said, just only 3 in the whole show, but there was many stuff like that just sprinkled around. There was one episode where Xena was basically like in Scandinavia, and it was out of canon episode, you can say. There are some of these episodes. The guy that plays Eolus, he was with the mic going around asking everybody what's going on, because Xena have killed all the gods, and there was just Aphrodite and Ares left, and Ares didn't have any powers, and so on. So at the end of the episode, they were in a bar, and the guy with the mic asked them, like, "You guys are lovers?" And because that was season 5, I think, or season 6. So by that point, a lot of people are already asking about this anyway. I mean, in the real world. So this episode was kind of like to address all of that, and the whole point was that because I think that also Aphrodite didn't have powers, because everybody was losing the this I mean, the ability to love. So Xena was also put on a in a studio, a TV studio, and Gabrielle also, and they were both asked about how they feel about each other, and if Gabrielle loves Xena like in that way. But at first Gabrielle was kind of confused, like, what do you mean? What kind of a love? We're friends or something like this. And then at the end of the episode, they were on a table, everything was good and fine, love was returned to the world, and he asked them directly, like, "Oh, hi, hey, are you guys lovers?" And Zina and Gabriel are like, "Huh? Huh? Huh?" He's like, "Yeah, are you guys lovers?" And something like this, and Zena, I think, was trying to say, "Well," and then the whole TV, or like, I mean, the camera, the camera just had a battery outage or something like this. So basically, they cut off this part on purpose, so we never got our official answer whether or not they're lovers or not, or they just have this very interesting relationship where, because they love each other so much, sometimes they kiss, but when they're in female bodies, they don't do anything with each other. Yeah, but if they're in other bodies, they're already married somewhere in the future. So that confirms that they're going to be a couple if they're not in those female bodies. But at the same time, when they were in the female bodies, we never got anything definitive, you know. But anyway, let's go to that amazing comment that I got, and discuss what it was said and basically what I'm thinking about that. Yeah, it was left to the imagination and interpretation, basically. Okay, let's see. That is from Mark. So Mark says, seeing them as friends isn't the objective way. Basically, that is what I said, so that is why he said this. Of seeing the show. My parents disliked the show because of its gay agenda. Okay, here's where I can't agree. I mean, in terms that the fact that the show had this subtext to it, and that is how it was referred for years as a subtext, doesn't mean that it's agenda. Doesn't mean that they pushing this really hard or like on purpose, like it's on the nose. None of that, because like 90% of the whole show does not include any of those moments. 90%, even more if you think about, if you really calculate the minutes and the seconds that such moments even existed. Yeah, I mean, it's not agenda. We cannot compare Xena to what we have today with today's shows, because today's shows really truly push a particular agenda, and they're really on the nose. They really are in your face. They really are annoying. They really want to put something down your throat, so to speak. They're not doing it they're doing it like it's a political thing. So it's really it's not genuine. It's just forced. So Xena was revolutionary for its time, for the ideas that tried to portray, for the way that Xena was done as a character, because she was so smart, so intelligent overall, so powerful, and she was a human. She was able to defeat gods. I mean, there was no sexism towards Xena in any kind of a way. So she totally destroyed all of that, and she was done in perfectly modern way that just still stands as a perfect example of how you should do a female character, and not to make this female character ridiculously unbelievable in a bad way, you know? And Xena was not that. Xena was the perfection. um, in the way that things are supposed to be done, you know, things when there's no identity politics and SJWs and all those crap that we have right now. Everything is twisted. There's no such thing back then. So let's continue. So that's the only thing that I don't agree. If the parents, I don't know how old are these parents, but if they see everything like it's seen now, they do have to have in mind that in the 90s and early 2000s, there was no such thing as agenda, feminist or gay, in this case gay agenda, like at all. And things were pretty normal. I mean, I watched Xena years after the show actually ended. It got to Bulgaria, later, and I watched it years after actually it ended. But then when I watched the documentaries and everything else, I understand that there was a very healthy society of gay people that really liked the show, enjoyed the show, because there was nothing like it on screen, and they saw a lot for them, from the show. So, yeah, from that perspective, there was just awesome time. There was, no need to put anything in anybody's throat. Let's say it that way. Um, yeah, I'm just switching back to the comments. Yeah, Ivy says, I agree, Gary. When I hear agenda, that comes to my mind a movie show whose focus on 100% revolving around a certain ideal. Like, this is the main thing here. Yeah, exactly. The new shows revolve around not the story, but a particular relationship or somebody's sexual orientation. Like, who cares about those things if the character is good, But no, the accent has to be on sexuality, which absolutely devalues the character and removes the rest of its core values, they just are like second, like on the back seat, where the sexuality is on the front seat, which is absolutely ridiculous. But coming back to his comment, so he says, you really don't need to have a huge imagination or to project your desires to think of them as a couple. Many straight people see them as such. Actually, you need to have a huge imagination to find a non-romantic explanation to when fates collide. Yeah, that's an episode, by the way, that yeah, you can say that they look like they're how to say this? I mean, the accent once again was not on that part. It was on Caesar. It was on how you can change your fate. What Xena did to change that. They seemed like there were what to tell you, just like a few scenes. Xena looking at Gabrielle. They don't know each other that way. Only Xena remembers something like that, but that's not like the huge biggest proof. But my view and why I didn't see it, because he says huge imagination to project your desires. I mean, you don't have to have. He very good, probably he did understood what I said, so that's why he phrased it this way. Huge imagination to not find non-romantic, but the whole show was did in a way that I just didn't see it. Yeah, I was a kid, but I just didn't see it. I don't know how to explain this. I understand that they love each other endlessly. I understand that this is a friendship that I never seen before and it's so amazing. I understand that their love is like super lovey. I don't know how to say it, but I still didn't see it as a boyfriend and girlfriend type of a thing. I just didn't see it. I mean, maybe because the show was really not on the nose, I just accepted it as a super strong love, but they don't have sex with each other. Like literally, because we never seen anything like that of that, so I just took it as such, like something that is only to them in a different category. That's the best way to describe it, actually. Only for them in a different category on its own. So not like between man and a woman, and not like between a gay couple. That's how I took it. I mean, somewhere in the middle. Yeah. Well, what to tell you? It's hard to explain, but yeah. Okay, so he says, anyway, the quest's kiss, that's the episode, isn't a friendly peek on the mouth like what you mimic with your hands? Yeah, probably I did this. I don't know. I have to watch it, but I don't want to watch myself. Anyway, they keep kissing for over 5 seconds. Yeah, but they stood in one place, so it's like when well, not when, but if you like touch your lips and just don't do anything with them, just stay there with the lips. Okay. What? Wait a second, guys. Okay. I got something from Instagram. Just a sec, guys. It seems important. I mean, about something that happened. About something that happened. Oh, it's the Elder Scrolls. Okay, I'm gonna check it later. Okay, guys, back to the topic. I'm just gonna say that I'm streaming the interesting stuff of the live show. Okay, continuing. So yeah, that's the thing, that they just like touched the lips and they just stayed there. They didn't do anything once again with the lips. Okay. Okay, kissing a friend like that would never brush my mind. Yeah, I agree. And I'd push away a friend who tried to make it happen. Yeah, of course. Except if it were a joke. A game or some sort of sexual arrangement. Yeah, if it's like a joke. Yeah, basically you're joking about this. You have to do it for a bet or something like that. No emotional situation. Ask for a kiss between platonic friends. Yeah, no emotional situation. Yeah. a fierce hug works. In these cases, they kiss because they wanted to. It's hard to disagree with that. I mean, he is really putting this in a very compelling way. I mean, I really don't have anything against this. I just didn't, once again, didn't perceive it as such, but of course that he is right. I mean, he's right, but after this scene, we never seen anything similar to this. Yeah. Now, there was one funny, because he said about the friends thing, there was one funny situation where I actually kissed one of my friends by accident. We were going out from a cafe, and I turned around to see where she was, and she was right behind me. and we literally locked lips like this. I was like, where? It was so funny. That's one situation that you can never imagine happening, but it was a complete accident. Like, one other thing that I think that I did admit it before is that with that same friend, actually, we decided to try to kiss for exactly for this thing that for the example here, like a joke or yeah, what he said. And because we didn't had a lot to do between some, we had like a free hour from the school the teacher was missing. And I'm usually like totally not for these things, like zero, like Greg you said zero, a zero. A zero for these things. But yeah, we decided to do it just to see what it is or how it is. And I kissed the girl and I didn't like it, and that was it basically. Yeah, that was it. Okay, continuing with that thing. Okay, so he continues. Their reincarnations remember they were Xena and Gabrielle and directly decide to make out. I really have to watch those episodes, but yeah, I think he's right. No hesitation, no, oh wait, I'm suddenly attracted to you in a way I never was before. That's weird. Let's see the waters and maybe kiss. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry. Oh my god. This is so funny. Then they get married and even stay together after Ares put Xena back into her original body. The whole point is that their bodies don't matter. Yeah, yeah, I remember that episode. It was in the future. She had like not a great body, I don't think. They were like switching bodies, like her body was Joxer's body, or that's one of the episodes that I really don't like that much. There's literally like 3 or 4 throughout the whole show that was kind of fish out of water, something like that. I really like. I just wanted to get back to ancient Greece, So I didn't really like those. So I watched them like 1 time or 2 times tops. But yeah, he's right. As far as I remember, he's right about this. So I can't refute this point, but then again, when I was growing up, my thought was that, oh well, this is happening because they're now in different bodies, so they're nothing is stopping them. So let's go and do that thing. That is how I perceived it. What to do? I was a kid. Hi, Ryan. I'm very happy that you're here on this wonderful topic tonight. Okay, so by the way, we have like an hour till the event of The Last of Us, so I have to wrap this up in not more than 30 minutes because I have to get ready for the next one. Okay, reading down the rest of the comment. Okay. They can be soulmates and in a relationship. Yeah, they can. That's correct. These two don't include each other. These two don't exclude each other, and it doesn't diminish their relationship at all. Yeah, these two things, being soulmates and a relationship, do not exclude each other. Yeah, of course, of course. It's always for gay couples that their love goes beyond, and we don't need confirmation. Wait, it's always for gay couples that their love goes beyond, and we don't need confirmation. Like Xena and Gabrielle, Mulder and Scully weren't confirmed for ages, but it was common knowledge that they were in love. It wasn't the straight community wanting to believe it despite no confirmation. In their case, no one said their love goes beyond. Everyone just wanted them to admit their feelings to each other. Oh, sorry, the mic. I'm just trying to, get what exactly he means here. But I never watched The X-Files, only a bit. So yeah, Murder and Scully. Even if I didn't watch the show, I knew that they were together. It's kind of like no-brainer. Oh boy. Well, I actually got what he means because I remember what I said that it needs to be confirmed on the show to be known. And he's like, well, it's obvious, so it does not need to be confirmed. For me, it did, but it wasn't because of the times that the show was made in the first place. So let's give this a pass. Although this was like my strongest belief that I had, But anyway, I mean, he also has a point here. Okay. He does. If it was about anything else, I would totally agree probably right away. But now I'm like thinking. Okay, so he says the North trilogy, that was when Xena was, in, well, yeah, in the North, in Scandinavia, has a true love's kiss trope. He's right. Oh gosh, he's right. Yeah. I mean, damn it. Gabrielle was like the sleeping beauty, and only true love's kiss could have awakened her. Yeah, damn it. If that's not enough, Brunhilde falls in love with Gabrielle, and Gabrielle pushes her away by saying she is Xena's soulmate. She's meant to be with her. The easiest way to push her away would have been to say, I don't like women, but she didn't say that. She saw someone who took romantic interest in her and told them, no, I'm with Xena. Well, yeah, I have to admit that this is also very, very correct. Yeah. Yeah, Geraint, if you're not caught up on this. Oh, Jesus Christ. No, that's also correct. I can't say anything about that. I just have to rewatch it, but I actually watched that episode fairly recently. I made so many videos about all of those episodes. At this shot, actually, this is this was also a very interesting moment. This is just like a promo shot, but this is from an actual episode. Okay, let's continue with the comment. So far, yeah, I have to agree. Platonic best friends would never get so defensive about their privacy. Hesitate and talk to each other before answering the questions, are you lovers? There would be nothing to discuss. He's right. That is referring to the episode where they were in that otherworldly future time and that guy with the mic and in Scandinavia, and he asked them at the end of the episode, they never said anything. Yeah, so he's also right here. Yeah, I mean, I cannot dispute this, even if I try to dispute it with the bulldozer or something. They aren't a few hints, because I did say that there are a few hints. He said there aren't a few hints. To me, they were. I mean, this is literally what I thought completely honesty, in all honesty, about the show, because once again, I was a kid, and secondly, really the show is not made in the way that I mean, it's so a subtext that I'm like, they're friends. Although so many things that are saying, well, actually no, if you look things close, you see that they're not just friends. The fact that they're not doing it on screen doesn't mean that they're not that they are just friends. But I'm like, they're friends. Me and my so naive and so pure old Carrie. I don't know. Okay, let's continue. Okay. Although once again, I mean, I'm just going to say this now because I'm going to forget about it. But as an end, adding to all of this, how would Mark explain about her relationships and really, attraction to Aries, to having Barias, to having Mark, to having to having to seduce other guys in a very womanly way, that if a woman is gay, she would not have this at all. In the way that she did it, it was like fully a very sexy woman using her awesomeness to seduce a guy, you know. I'm just referring to the episode about one particular archangel that became Lucifer, and how she just brought up his evil sides, and she exposed him to what he really is. So we could say then that Xena is a bi, but she's definitely not like a full-on gay, because saying that she's a full-on gay is also absolutely ridiculous. Let's not forget about that point. Okay, let's see what your guys are saying, if you're saying something. Yeah, Ivy says, I guess that they tried to do different things in some episodes, but generally kept the platonic love guideline, to not make this type of love a romantic one. Well, like Mark says, everything points out that it was a romantic love, but once again, it was never established in the show, probably because of the times that the show takes place in, and that is once again late 90s and early 2000s. 2001 to be precise, is when the show actually ended in America. True love and the closest bond there is without actually crossing the romantic line. That is how I take it, and took it. How I take it now, how I took it then. But once again, the fact that I'm taking it this way doesn't mean that that is actually the case, because really what Mark says, that even if it's not like officially confirmed, it's something that's so obvious, so many things that prove it. There are just so many things. I mean, it's not just one or two or three. I always gave as an argument the kisses, and that there are in particular circumstances that, so they were not actually supposed to be seen as romantic. But how can you, go around that and not see it as, even if it's not. There are so few and far between, which there are. Then he brought up so many things that I never thought about, especially that with the true love's kiss. If Xena didn't love Gabrielle in a true love way, although once again, if you watch the first Maleficent movie, there is exactly the same thing. It's established that true love doesn't have to be romantic love. Love is love, no matter if it's romantic or not. Love could be between mothers and daughter, how this case was. And Maleficent loved her her daughter, so to speak, although she was not her biological daughter, but that didn't matter. She she spent so much time with this girl, and she loved her, and the prince was just appearing out of nowhere. He cannot love this this princess, and Maleficent did. So yeah, there was just perfect example in Maleficent. That's why I just love the first movie, because that was something that we never seen before done on the big screen in that way. I never seen that before. I mean, maybe somebody did it, but I haven't seen it. So I was like so inspired, and it was so awesome. And so even if we like take this moment, we can say that this moment is definitely, I mean, only true love's kiss could awaken Gabrielle, but true love's kiss doesn't have to be a romantic one. So we can dismiss that. But then the Brunhilde moment, uh, yeah, I mean, they literally put a gay character that was directly, not hiding it, gay character, and she did wanted to be with Gabrielle in that way, and Gabrielle was, uh-uh, no. But I took it as, well, how can Gabrielle say yes if she has Xena, uh, as her friend, because they will be together all the time? What Brunhilde's gonna walk with them? But she did say, no, I'm with Xena, as far as I remember as well, what he quoted here. So yeah, once again, it's kind of hard to go around it and say like, no, it's not this. But I do agree that if we didn't have all of those compelling evidence, what Ivy says here, it's what I thought, that he says some bonds are like that. There are people who get so close that one wouldn't start wondering, but it's not always lending to a romantic encounter. It's very rare though. Hi to Sticky V. So you love watching her kiss and Xena. I always found myself very attracted to Gabrielle, not really to Xena because she looked like an evil aunt of mine. Oh no, that's terrible, but okay, I really have to watch those shows again. Yes, they has they have so much value in them. It's crazy. Not only about the nostalgia, by the way. Very strong indeed. It was so easy for me to relax in front of the TV watching, among other these shows. So I've lost that way of just watching without thinking, kind of miss it. Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Sticky V. I encourage you to watch from the beginning, because I did explain my background with Xena, actually how I started making videos because of Xena, and what was my initial position about this a few years ago when I did 2 videos about this topic. But now today I got amazing comments, and I decided to once again address this topic in a newer way, because I do have a bit of a different view now, since this comment was pretty compelling, and I did change my view in the slightest way. But I will say now at the end what I think, finally where I stand on this. So yeah, let's finish this amazing comment now. Yeah. Well, what Xena has cannot compare to anything that Hollywood has to offer these days, because what Hollywood has to offer these days is good. Some things are good. I enjoy so many shows that are new, like Penny Dreadful now. Actually, Hollywood, that is the show of Netflix, and Defending Jacob with Chris Evans. It's absolutely amazing, quality shows. But you cannot compare them in the way, how they stick with you. They have more meaning, especially Penny Dreadful in some ways. Defending Jacob, you can dig some meaning out of that, but Xena is like on the other level. You can pick up every episode, every line that they say. There's so much wisdom. It's unbelievable. So it's totally different universe that other shows just cannot cannot give you these days. Or even something, I mean, there's other shows like Sheena, back in the day, Beastmaster and Hercules, even, which of course Xena comes from Hercules. She was a spin-off show that eventually became more successful. But the point is that some episodes Hercules, in the other shows, they were not as deep. They're just not. They're just not. What's there? It's different. They're just not. I mean, good shows, you can enjoy them. Andromeda, the other show of Kevin Sorbo, great shows. But what Xena did was still, I mean, that's why people love her so much, because goosebumps about so many things. So continue with the comment, because I really have to finish the stream and get ready for The Last of Us live, deep down, or deep dive. Deep dive. Okay, so he continues. Platonic best friends would never. Yeah, I read that. There aren't a few. Yeah, I was to hear. There aren't a few hints. There's so many. Some of them you can't explain unless they're a couple. She likes what I do. Those are spoken for. Is that a hickey? Yeah, those are like funny things, but once again, I took them as, well, this is a subtext. They're just teasing the audience. They just want to keep like the audience guessing. Are they? Aren't they? But I never took them seriously. I didn't even know what hickey is, God damn it. I had to translate that for myself. Never mind. What would Caesar give for you to look at him that way? Yeah, he's right about that line. The Sappho of all writers poem. That escapes me. I mean, I remember. Oh, maybe it's the poem for Gabrielle's birthday. Yeah, that's also pretty irrefutable. From one of the episodes. Okay, remember In Depth Part 1? Yes. When Xena wakes up because she tried to snuggle Gabrielle in her sleep and her arm hit the floor. Yes, they totally don't sleep next to each other. Well, they do, but that doesn't mean that they do anything. I mean, in general, I understand what he's saying, but I'm just saying that, of course, they're going to sleep next to each other. Although if I had a girlfriend that we were traveling together, we will not sleep next to each other, like at least this like big gap between the, yeah, anyway. Well, it depends on the situation, but yeah, he's right. Okay, at the end of the day, you're focusing way too much on the gay aspect of it. Gabriel and Xena are soulmates who still loved each other. As demons and angels, there's no way their bodies would ever play a role. He's freaking right. What the hell? Yeah. I mean, just getting to that point of all of those episodes, I cannot refute that because it's just he's just saying things like they're but once again, my ending position is going to be that, yeah, there are so many proofs for this, but in the same time, if you see the show how you see the show, which is everybody's prerogative, and at the end of the day, that it's your choice. I cannot force myself to see them as a couple if I don't see them as a couple. All of despite all of the freaking proof that we discussed here. So yeah, I can still see the show and not see them as a couple in that way. Not in that way, but a couple, yes, not in like the full-on way. That's what I'm gonna say. Hey James, hey, hello, and welcome to the stream. Hi to Camper Beat. Yes, it's a classic. Oh yeah, and Clyde did see Defending Jacob and Penny Dreadful. I recommended So I'm happy that he likes it. I'm very happy, Clayton. Yeah, and I just can't wait for the last episode of Defending Jacob. He has to come out this week. Um. Oh, so Sticky V says, have to admit I can't predict shows like The Boys and Doom Patrol. Depends on what you watch, I guess. Maybe I've just watched too many similar stuff in the past. Well, prediction is another topic. I can't predict what's gonna happen on the show, but when it comes to Xena, by the way, I really could not predict anything that happened there anyway. But that's not what made it, so good. Just the meaning, the true, genuine, freaking meaning behind everything in the episodes. I can talk about this all day. Yeah, well, Penny Dreadful is one of those shows that you will understand the show if you have read a lot of books about some spiritual things. Let's say you will understand some subtext there, some deeper meanings there. On the surface, it looks like, well, we have the supernatural element, but it's much more than that. And amazing performance by all the actors, how it's filmed. It's pretty gruesome, brutal, sexual, really disgusting, and it's not. I mean, it's graphic. It's not for everybody. It's not like graphic all the time. Some episodes are really more subtle, but if they want to show you something gross, they're gonna show you something gross. Yeah, but Natalie Dormer is amazing. One of the best actresses I've ever seen. Just love her. Um, yeah, yeah, Sticky V. I also did not understand this. Um, it's not good, and everybody are looking at you after that, so it's not funny. Okay. I don't watch anime, at least. I mean, I love the Death Note, but yeah, I love the Death Note. That's pretty much it for now. I don't watch anime just because of the style. It's very exaggerated, the emotions, how everything is drawn, how everybody acts. You know what I mean? The emotions. It's so like, it's not my style, but I just love the the um the Death Note. I was going to say the Notebook. I haven't even seen the Notebook. Uh, yeah, each can enjoy it as they feel like. That's my point. Yeah, exactly like a song. Thanks, Clayton. Yeah, everybody can talk about Xena all day. I mean, if you like Xena, but if my dear colleague Kirill from Superheroes Bulgaria, if he wants to say something in the comments later on, he's busy right now, but if he can, I'm sure that he's also has a lot of opinions how he sees that as far as I talk to him, because once again he is watching Xena with new eyes and he never seen the whole show throughout. Um, so far, I don't think that he also sees them as a gay couple in any kind of way. He also sees the greater um, just scale of their love and relationship, but not in that way. He sees it more as a platonic way. At least that is how I think from what I've yeah, I got like an impression of him, but we never spoken to that level. I mean, to all of those details. But I'm very curious to what he had to say, because he at least, I mean, is a grown-up person. I'm still seeing Xena with my kid's eyes, but he's a grown-up person that sees the show for the first time now, so he will have maybe more mature look on it. I don't know. But me and him don't differ on opinions and how we see things almost at all, so we'll see what he thinks. Oh yeah, great series. Well, what a coincidence that you finished it. Hi Jake. Hi Jake. How are you? Hope that you're fine. And good. The summer is getting around at least. The corona is fading away. Hopefully. And hey Michael, to you as well. So yeah, guys, that's the topic really. But for those of you that joined so late, I'm very happy that actually I was able to cover all of that comment and what I think and all of that. I'm really happy that I managed to cram it all in, although it's been an hour, so yeah. But I really encourage you to go back and watch from the beginning because it was very interesting. Everything that I said about the videos and Xena and how everything started, all of that, and where I stood. But really, those videos that I did were very old, and I needed to talk about this once again. And I really don't want angry Xena fans on my face, because I know that, especially these days, there's so many, you know, um, there's so many fans that love the show because of this aspect, because they see it as that, and I don't see it as that. So back when there were the forum days and the Xena music videos days, most of those people were from that part of the community, and the other were like, no, Xena and Aries and the guys, and we ship this and we ship that, and I didn't understand what shipping means, but then I understood what shipping means. So some were like Xena and Gabrielle, some were like Xena and Aries, or Xena and Hercules, or so yeah, those are the main three, I think, and I do have a lot of videos with Hercules and Xena, with Ares and Xena, with Gabriel and Xena. And even in my videos, if you watch them, you're going to be like, wow, they are a couple. But then again, I saw it through my kids' eyes or glasses, call it whatever you want. So whatever I did to present it that way, it wasn't once again presenting it that way. I was telling a story basically. So it's like it's not like on purpose, or it's not, that's not the meaning of it. That's always how I saw it. So maybe the whole thing is that I see it not for the sexual aspect at all, because that was not present in the show anyway, but I always saw it as the deeper love and the deeper meaning. And so in that way, that is there, and I think that that is there for both camps, both sides, you know. But the difference is that they are like, well, that means that they're a couple, and the others are like, well, that means that they have super deep love, but they're not a couple, which kind of conflicts itself. Especially all of those arguments that Mark presented when they're in the future and they're in this, and they're immediately getting together, and yeah, so I can refute that. That is it pretty much, guys. I have to get ready for the Last of Us stream, which is going to be in 30 minutes. So I have to really get everything technically ready and get back here and see what they're going to present us live. What is this deep dive to The Last of Us? I'm very interested. Well, I know sticky, but there's a lot of those. I mean, just watch. I mean, if you see the comments under that video that I said that they're not a couple, there's so many that are like, uh, you don't say no. They're like, I'm like, okay. You see it that way, I see it this way. Yeah, you see, Jay said it as well. Xena was a mentor. I mean, she was a mentor at the beginning. Then Gabrielle grew up, like literally grew up, and became her own warrior and all of those things. And their relationship progressed from being Xena was a mentor and being a superior to Gabrielle, literally, to for them being equals. That was like at the end of it. I mean, it was always different because Gabrielle went on this spiritual discovery, which basically conflicted with her whole path that she wanted to go, with Xena, and she was like, no, no, I'm going to do this so peacefully, but she saw that that's not gonna happen, not in this life. So she had to make the decision. It was very interesting, so interesting. Okay, Geraint, bye to you. Uh, this keyboard. This keyboard. One question. If they are couple or not, I would just refer to the comments of the creator of the show. He always intended to leave it in the middle, as I remember. Might be wrong, of course. Well, as I said from the beginning, there's actually a lot of documentaries that basically say that they are supposed to be a couple, and they wrote the show to have a subtext, but in the end of the day, they weren't willing to go full out because of the times that the show were filmed and aired. One of the writers was gay, basically. So she wrote a lot of those things in, as far as I understand, and she also confirmed that they're supposed to be a couple. So yeah, and then my argument was, but that was never actually confirmed in the show. Yeah, that was never directly confirmed, but it was confirmed, like we said, with all of those other things. So yeah, if you go back to the video, you'll see I bring up amazing arguments that one Xena fan wrote to me today, so you can see that those are pretty irrefutable. But once again, I'm just going to continue watching Xena the way that I've always watched Xena. That's not gonna change anything for me, but I mean, true love is true love, no matter if they're lovers or not lovers. They do have something that everybody wants but doesn't have, and that is more valuable than so many things, because basically it transcends life and death and all of those things. That's exactly what matters at the end of the day. Yeah. Thank you very much as well, guys. Okay, I'm going to prepare now for the other stream. So if you want to join me, I'm going to be back at 11 Bulgarian time. Now it's 10:30, so that's like in 27 minutes. So till then, guys, thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you'd like to support me, Patreon and OnlyFans are down in the links, if you like, of course. Until next time with me, Gary G Reviews, guys. This was awesome. Thank you.